unbeaten Cuban heavyweight contender Luis Ortiz has called out Anthony Joshua. More accurately, it's actually some member of Luis Ortiz's advisory / management team who's done it, because Ortiz is not exactly fluent in English, so you can't imagine that it was him that typed the tweet, but it's somebody tweeting on his behalf anyway. So Ortiz has called out Joshua. We know Joshua is looking for an opponent for November 26th. An opponent still hasn't been announced yet. Ortiz has thrown his name into the mix. He says he's ready to go. Now, we all know, and you don't need me to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you anyway, that Anthony Joshua is definitely not going to fight Luis Ortiz on November 26th. And he's almost certainly not going to fight Luis Ortiz anytime soon. Probably not within the next 3-4 fights. First of all, why isn't he going to fight him on November 26th? Well, Ortiz is not even ranked in the IBF top 15. Which many people will find disgraceful, and for good reason, because Ortiz has had some good wins on his resume and he's a dangerous fighter. Some people believe he might really be the third, possibly even second best heavyweight out there. He is seen as very, very dangerous by everybody. Even Tyson Fury came out in an interview a year or so ago saying that Luis Ortiz is extremely dangerous and it's understandable that nobody wants to fight him, basically. But yeah, so he's not in the top 15, and you have to be in the top 15 of the IBF rankings to be eligible to fight Anthony Joshua in a voluntary defense. So it's clearly not going to happen on November 26th. Even if he was ranked in the top 15 of the IBF, it still wouldn't happen though, in my opinion. Because Ortiz is that dangerous that the only way he'll ever be climbing in the ring with Anthony Joshua, anytime soon at least, is if he's a mandatory challenger. And I think that goes for everybody who holds a version of the world title currently. The winner of Brown against Oquendo, if that fight goes ahead, I can't imagine they'll be too keen on having a voluntary defense against Ortiz. The winner of the Klitschko-Fury rematch, I can't imagine that guy will be too keen on giving Ortiz a voluntary shot. Deontay Wilder, I'm sure he's not keen on giving Ortiz a voluntary shot. So Ortiz is kind of being frozen out. A little bit like his countryman, Guillermo Rigondeaux. The big names not keen on fighting him. So, unlike Rigondeaux though, Ortiz's situation might be a little better because the champions at heavyweight can't move up. So it's not like they can run away to a different division. Most of them are too big. In fact, off the top of my head, all of them are too big to make cruiserweight. So they can't go anywhere. If they drop their belts, they're just going to end up like regular contenders. So there's far more of an incentive at heavyweight to keep hold of their belts rather than do what, what's his name now? Leo Santa Cruz, nearly forgot his name. Leo Santa Cruz and Carl Frampton did, and dropping their belts and moving up. Yeah, the heavyweights can't do that. So if Ortiz does get into a mandatory position, he'll get his shot. But how easy will it be for him to get into a mandatory position? It's probably going to take a while. He abandoned the WBA route. His manager came out and said that the WBA route seems like it's going to take a long time. I'm interested to see where Ortiz goes from here. Will his promotional team do some type of deal with Al Heyman to get him on PBC? As you know, I think that's the best way for him to go. I think that PBC offers him the biggest platform to try and build his fan base. There's a lot of Latino people in the United States, a lot of Spanish-speaking people. I think there might even be, correct me if I'm wrong here, people, but I know there's more minorities in the United States than there is, and you can't call them minorities anymore, but basically there's more non-white people in the United States than there is white people now. But I know Spanish is the second language in the USA. and it is spoken by what? At least 30%, maybe 40% of the population. Maybe that's a bit high, but it's certainly spoken by a lot of people. So there's a massive Spanish speaking population in the USA. So for somebody like Luis Ortiz on a platform like PBC, getting exposed to far more viewers than he would fighting anywhere else on any other platform, that just seems logical to me that he should be trying to go that route. So we'll see how this pans out, people. But, you know, there's no way that Anthony Joshua is going to be fighting. There's no way that any of these champions are going to be fighting him anytime soon. He's going to have to get in a mandatory position. And the IBF not having him in the top 15, yeah, it's some joke business. It is what it is. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about this. And if you've got any information about Luis Ortiz in terms of his latest moves, I know he's signed to a company called Dade Promotions, which I believe is based in Florida, going off what some people from America have told me. Have you got any more information about Dade Promotions, about what they're looking to do with Ortiz, about when they're looking to get him out? Because he's not fighting Houston no more. So